This is the Sales Babble Podcast, episode 447, How to Grow Your Sales Confidence.
Welcome to Sales Babble, the podcast that shares selling secrets for non-sellers. And now your host, Pat Helmers.
Hello, Sales Babblers. This is Pat Helmers. And today, I want to chat about how time and again I find that self-esteem and confidence are lacking in many of us here in the sales profession, myself included. Despite the fact that we possess strengths and skills, we don't truly give ourselves the credit that we deserve. Look at you, for example. Here you are, listening to the Sales Babble podcast, working on growing your selling skills, but you don't consider all the peers out there who don't believe in continual improvement. This one thing sets you above the rest. You have the confidence that you can become better and be better. That kind of confidence is gold. Lao Tzu speaks often about the acceptance and the power that acceptance creates. So it's timely that confidence is our topic for today. But before we start, make sure and subscribe to the podcast on whatever app you're listening to, and also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and myself on LinkedIn. You can find links in the show notes. So now, with no further ado, let's get to it. And now today's chapter, confidence. The path of trial and error leads to mastery. By accepting fear as true, lessons from failure, confidence arrives, built on a foundation of preparation. Believing in themselves, the master seller allows things to unfold, not forcing things. They embody confidence, abundance, and mastery. And now today's story. Chris's head shook with disbelief. The prospect was emphatic they had no interest in advancing the deal. They decided to take another direction, and with that, they hung up the call. The deal was a huge opportunity, but now it was a huge failure. Chris was crushed. "These things happen," said Pat. Chris quickly responded, "Yes, but honestly, I think it was my fault. I knew I should have pitched the new SRV solution, but I didn't trust myself. I had no confidence that I could represent SRV. Now it's lost." "You're right," said Pat. "But this is an opportunity to grow because we only learn from our mistakes and not our wins. Confidence grows from repeated success. Are you going to make that mistake again?" "Heck no," said Chris, barking it out with confidence, born from failure. Coco Chanel, the French fashion designer and founder of the namesake Chanel brand, said, quote, "Success is often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable." End quote. Each time we accept our failures, we gain strength, courage, and confidence in the doing. Lao Tzu wrote, "Because one believes in oneself, one doesn't try to convince others. Because one is content with oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts him or her." Sales is not an easy gig, but with coffee in one hand and confidence in the other, anything is possible. To download a copy of this week's Tao of Sales Babble chapter, you can find it in the show notes at www.salesbabble.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for our brief weekly newsletter with links to the podcast conveniently placed in your inbox. Next, if you could do me a favor and share this episode with a friend who's also interested in growing your selling skills, please do. Whatever app you're listening to, subscribe to Sales Babble and share this episode with your friend. And if you have any questions about sales, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm easy to find on LinkedIn, or you can click the Babble Me link on the website. And with that said, I think that's all I've got for this week. Until next Tuesday, folks, take care and have a highly successful and a profitable selling day.
Thank you for listening to the Sales Babble podcast. Find us at www.salesbabble.com.
This is a production of Habanero Media.